All right, we've had, well, it's been a week. I caught a cold and I'm all better now, but it just took a little while to get back to this. Last we left it, it was in the clamps. As you can see, just pull the clamps off and be ready for the next step. Here, the next step's going to be getting the mitered molding. You can hear my mitered molding, getting my mitered molding mitered so that it can be molded around it. Wow, I did get the plague. Yeah, so we'll just get the clamps off and then start cutting the molding so that it can be fitted nicely into these zones here on the stiles. And then we'll flush everything up. And the door will basically be done. We'll be ready to start finishing. And then we'll start working on the hardware. We get this thing out of the clamps and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, I think we're set now to try out our little mitering jig here. This one was my first attempt at a cope. So I'm just going to cut the cope part off, and that should set the first miter for this short. These are for the short ones for the bottom panel. I'm just going to go ahead and take this and test fit. I'm basically just going to cut it a little bit and then check it over on the door and see how close the miter comes. And then I'll give you a little bit more detail here. So I'm just going to do a quick little cut here. Okay, no camera trickery. This is literally the first cut off of the miter sled test. Check this out. Ka-tunk. Pretty damn good miter, I might say, if I said so myself, and I do. So, this little trick, that was good. This little technique's going to work perfectly. So this is actually the long side. Now all we got to do is take it down to the other end, snip off this end to cut it to its proper length. So I'll give you a shot of that next. Alright, so that's that piece. I just tested it here. We were up here when I tested the fit of that miter. And now I'm going to take it down here, and I know exactly how long I need to be by making a quick little mark. I need a really sharp pencil though. Neither of these are close. Be right back. Alright, now I have a sharp pencil. I can take this over, and I need to make a mark that sets the final length exactly where I want it. And that looks like if we leave the line, we come right up to it, it'll fit. Now, this is where the trial and error testing cuts many test fits, but it's basically just go to that point and it'll cut it. So we'll see. We're going to take it over back to the miter sled and have a quick little cut test here. Okay, so over on the door I marked a spot for the length. I don't know if you can see that pencil line there, but there's a pencil line right there. And so we're just going to set it here, lining it up so that the blade will not actually take that line. It'll actually leave that line, and it'll be a little long this time, and we'll go test fit afterwards. So notice we're on the other side of the miter sled for the second miter. Tiny, yep, that left the line. Okay, and I'm going to go back over to the door and test this fit. I know it's going to be too long. This was the piece we just cut for this joint here. So stick this one in this place. And I don't think we can quite spring it. No, not quite. It's just a bit long to be sprung. So I'm going to do another quick cut. I wonder if I can do this all in frame. Yeah, I can. Okay, we're going to do a real tiny sneak up here. Check that fit one more time. Ooh, that's going to be beautiful. That's snugged in there nicely. Beauteous. I like it. Not very much clamping force needed here to keep it in position. That's good. That one's done. Now I don't know if I can get it out of there. Go. So it just needs a tiny bit of springing to put into place. And then, boy, that miter's good. I like it. Okay. Piece 1 is done. Not bad for the first 2 tries, or the first real try. Okay, I got 3 more of these to do. I actually got 3 more of these to do, and then I got 4 of the long ones, but there's only 1 miter to worry about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this side done, flip it, and then do the other side. And they'll just be in place. Yeah, that is the plan. Okay, that was pretty good. I did not need any of the extras that I made, which was great. They all fit really well. A couple of my copes could have been a little better, but the miters look great. Got a little bit of glue squeeze out on one of these that I got to figure out, or got to work out. But other than that, I believe we're ready to glue these things, which will be easy. So what I'll do is keep them near one another because they are now matched to their spots. And I'll do one side at a time. I'm going to get this glue squeeze out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait on that. I'm just going to make sure it's not going to interfere. But otherwise, I'll do all the glue squeeze out after because I'm sure I'll get a little on this. I'm just going to throw a bead of glue right down here. I don't have an easy way to clamp these. So what I'm going to probably do is just hold them by hand. As soon as I find where I put my glue bottle. Have you seen my glue bottle? Where's my glue bottle? There it is. It's over there. Okay. And with this, we're ready to, I think we'll just do some gluing. Okay, so we've got it, got all the trim glued in. It's all held really well. It's not going anywhere. Looks good. The next bit I'm going to do is flush up all our surfaces and sand the rails and stiles clean and ready, get them ready to finish. There's a couple of little ridges that I want to get cleared out. So we're just going to start with some 100 grit and just get the rails and stiles nice and pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty good. Okay, so we're fully sanded now. We sanded to 220 all the way, all around. I've knocked the corners off the edges a little bit, just so that they're not sharp and nasty. So we're ready to throw a finish on this thing, I think. And, excuse me. I just need to figure out how to get it hung up so I can do that. So, basically the door's ready for finish. So I'll bring you back when we're ready to put the finish on it. Okay, so the door is now hung up by the ceiling, or from the ceiling. The ceiling has hung the door. No, the door is hanging from the ceiling. I've got hooks up here. I'm just sort of, it's a resourceful moment of, I have these hooks where I put stools for visitors, and it just so happens the door is just tall enough to be too tall for my low ceilings. So I have another little spot over here where it's 8 foot tall, and those hooks are perfect. So I just got some chains and a turnbuckle, and I'm going right into the bolt, the threaded pieces that I glued into the top of the door. So it's hung by its hanging mechanisms. And we're going to spray here. So I got to construct kind of a makeshift spray booth like I always do when I'm spraying stuff until I get the finishing room finished. Until I finish the finish when the finishing room's done. So I've got real thin plastic, and we're just going to construct away a finishing tent of sorts to keep the spray off. I'm going to spray shellac because that's what everything else in the house is finished with. Shellac is perfectly fine for this task. So I'm just going to tent off this area a bit to keep the dust away while I spray. So I'm going to just put on some music and you can watch the construction. I've never actually filmed the construction part of the finishing tent, so we'll see if that's at all interesting, useful, something. Something? I don't know. I don't really know. Anyway, yeah, let's get some of that going. Okay, very rare handheld move here. This is the tent is finished now. And we just got the door. Boy, that's tough to see in from this distance, but so I just tape it up at any available place to tape. But we basically got one entrance, and this is where I will be to spray. Okay, so it's the next day. You can't see it yet. It's beautiful, but yesterday we put on about, well, I did 2 runs, but I figure I did 2 coats per run, so there's probably 4 coats of 1.5 pound shellac on here now. The sound you hear in the background is my drill press stirring up another batch that's probably 2.5 pounds, a 2.5 pound cut. So the first thing I'm going to do real quick before I spray that is I'm going to knock down any of the nibs right now with some 320 grit on a sanding block. Can you even...